Welcome back to the Tempo Storm Hearthstone Meta Snapshot Breakdown for May 22nd, 2017. To anyone who assumed the Ungoro meta would settle soon, this snapshot demonstrates how wrong they were. The meta continues to reshape itself. Iterations of archetypes continue to cause dynamic changes in the tier list, while new archetypes have catapulted to tier 1. Our last snapshot focused on Paladin's rise. This week, it's without a doubt focused on Mage. The rise of Gunther Control Mage to tier 1 shouldn't come as much of a surprise. The deck has been creeping its way up the tier list week after week since its inception. However, its movement from the second spot of tier 1 all the way to the #1 deck in Hearthstone was incredible. The other curveball in tier 1 is Secret Mage. After hanging out in the lower tiers for weeks, a little refinement and the right meta has brought it all the way up to tier 1. The rest of tier 1 this week fills out with the expected aggro flavors: Aggro Druid, Pirate Warrior, and Aggro Murloc Paladin. The freshest decks this week are tier 1's Secret Mage, as well as the newer iterations of Token Shaman, which now sits just outside of tier 1 as the strongest deck in tier 2. While probably still not refined, the newer lists of Secret Mage are sporting some surprising cards that have offered flexibility and sustain to a very fast deck archetype. Yogg-Saron, Pyros, and Tar Creeper support the previous Secret Mage minion core, which consists of Mana Worm, Arcanologist, Medivh's Valet, Kirin Tor Mage, and Cabal Crystal Runner. Players continue to experiment with what works best in terms of secrets and spells overall. Mirror Entity, Counterspell, and Firelands Portal have become expected 2-ofs in most lists. The recent iterations of Token Shaman have made 2 copies of Evolve and 2 copies of Devolve essential. The deck attempts to flood the board with small minions every turn, and Bloodlust to finish the game. Ungoro's edition of Firefly, Primal Fin Totem, and Stonehill Defender have offered excellent token creation and resource generation for the deck, providing consistency to the archetype as a whole. One of the trickiest things players will have to do on the ladder in the coming weeks is figure out which archetype of a class you're playing against. Secret Mage and Control Mage can look similar all the way up to the mid game and sometimes even later. There's no doubt that you'll be seeing a lot of Mage this week on the ladder. The same can be said when discerning whether your Paladin opponent is aggro or mid-range, or if your Priest opponent is Dragon or Silence combo. While there aren't too many direct countercards to the meta as a whole, learning to read your matchups is one aspect you can add to your thinking this week to help construct the best game plan in a given matchup. With several classes sporting numerous archetypes that are still in need of more fine-tuning and refinement, the meta is sure to continue shifting in the weeks ahead. And take advantage of the dynamics of the current ladder. There's space to try out flex cards in stable lists or even new archetypes, while still managing successful win rates over the course of a day's journey in Standard. If you enjoyed this Meta Snapshot breakdown, consider leaving us a like or favorite, and please subscribe to stay tuned with all of Tempo Storm's news and Hearthstone content.